Had lost its greatest son. Nicholas Witchell looks back on an extraordinary life.
His story is one of the most remarkable of any world leader. Few in history have endured oppression with such little rancour or overcome the oppressor with such little bloodshed.
I, Nelson Mandela, do hereby swear to be faithful to the Republic of South Africa.
In May 1994, Nelson Mandela, the man white South Africa had imprisoned for nearly 30 years, was sworn in as the country's first black president. Through his dignified and courageous leadership, the African National Congress had broken the stranglehold of apartheid and transformed South Africa into a multiracial democracy. Nelson Mandela was born in 1918 in South Africa's Eastern Cape. He was the son of a tribal chief. He qualified as a lawyer, and by 1952 he'd set up a legal partnership with a man who was to be a lifelong friend and ally, Oliver Tambo. Together they campaigned against apartheid, the exercise in social engineering under which South Africa's white minority brutally crushed the human rights and aspirations of the black majority. The Sharpeville massacre in 1960 forced the ANC to change strategy. 69 people died when police opened fire on black demonstrators. The ANC was outlawed, Mandela went underground, and peaceful resistance became a thing of the past.
There are many people who feel that it is useless and futile for us to continue talking peace and non-violence against a government whose reply is only savage attacks on an unarmed and defenseless people.
Mandela undertook a campaign of sabotage against the state. He was eventually arrested and charged with conspiracy to overthrow the government. Sentenced to life imprisonment, he was sent to Robben Island, a top security prison in Cape Town's Table Bay. Photographs of Mandela were banned from publication. To quote him was an offence. But, astonishingly, he wasn't embittered by his long imprisonment.
We soon grasped the fact that we are not conducting a struggle against individual whites. We are fighting a principle, fighting white domination. And in the course of that struggle, we can even form friendships with people from the other side.
Outside, time was running out for apartheid. With the ANC leadership in jail, even the children of Soweto were now helping to sustain the revolution. The hardline government of P.W. Botha tried to crush the uprising, but gradually more liberal white people began to recognise that Mandela was the solution, not the problem. An international campaign was begun for the release of Nelson Mandela as, around the world, governments imposed sanctions on South Africa. In 1990, a courageous white leader, President F.W. de Klerk, announced that the ANC would be unbanned.
There's Mr. Mandela, Mr. Nelson Mandela, a free man taking his first steps into a new South Africa.
That February, after 27 years of imprisonment, Nelson Mandela walked to freedom with his then wife Winnie at his side. Worldwide pressure had borne fruit. In 1994, Mandela cast his vote in South Africa's first multiracial elections. Millions enjoyed their first taste of democracy. The result was a landslide for the ANC. Nelson Mandela was president of a new South Africa.
Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another.
Mandela was feted throughout the world, as here in London. In 1998, at the age of 80, he married Graça Machel, the widow of the late president of Mozambique. It was a marriage which brought him personal happiness and helped him to enjoy some of the family life which his long imprisonment had denied him. On the eve of the new millennium, Nelson Mandela had revisited the cell on Robben Island, where he'd spent nearly 20 of the 27 years he was imprisoned. He lit a candle to symbolise reconciliation. It was passed to an African child to represent that continent's hope for the future, a hope inspired by the life and ideals of one of the truly great leaders of our time, Nelson Mandela.